beautiful the winner of the CHINICT, one of the winners of the CHINICT Hackathon in 2012, and this is what has been accomplished partly in the past few months. Now we're going to talk about the winners of the CHINICT Hackathon of this year. The hackathon just took place over the weekend on Friday and on Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to show you 6 hacks which were produced over 48 hours, and then we will also present 3 companies, 3 projects, which we call protégés, which are pre-series A companies, but which have nothing to do with the CHINICT Hackathon. So the 6 projects you're going to see right now have been developed over 48 hours by the team of developers who are going to pitch the different projects for you. I'd like to explain to our audience that give a little bit of information regarding our jury members here, because some new people have joined that you haven't seen this morning. So you already know Sébastien Lalo, who's the co-founder of Playfish and a very successful investor also. Ron Oz, who's the co-founder of Innovative Endeavors. Actually, Innovative Endeavors is the VC arm of Google's Eric Schmidt. Yes, Lee Fang from IDG. Ken Su from GoBVC. And Chen Yu from ePay. Okay, so are we ready for the computer is ready, Joshua? Yeah. So I'm going to ask the first team to come. So they will do a demo for around 2 minutes, and then they will pitch for 1 minute, and then they will answer any question you may have. So the first team to come is Smarter Living. Okay.
Hello everyone. My name is Anis. Today I'm going to show you an application that I did in the past 2 days. It's about to use Siri and Raspberry Pi to control the LED. Open the package page. Oh no, the package. My application contains two parts. The first one is the Raspberry Pi. It is for control the LED. And the last one is my lamp for shining. So if you go to iPhone and use my application, you can say open or close or decrease the brightness of the light. So let me show you the video and how the process works. So here I open Siri and say open the lamp. So you can see here the light is on. It's on. And then I will say close. The lights will off. Yeah, succeed. Here I use Chinese, but we can also use English to control the light. And later we'll show how to decrease the brightness of the light. So first we open the light, and we can say decrease the brightness. It will become less brightness. Yeah, it is less brightness. Hope you can see. Less and less. If you continue to say lower the brightness, it will be closed and say good night to you. So any question?
How did you come up with the idea of using?
Because I like to read book on my bedroom, and so when I read a book, I sometimes feel sleepy, but I have to go to get out of bed to turn on the lights. So I just thinking, why cannot create an app to control the lights? So I did not to get off my bed.
So first of all, very nice work for 48 hours.
Thank you.
Who do you guys see as the potential customers for this technology?
I cannot catch you, buddy.
Who do you see as the potential customers for your technology?
Be honest with me, I just do it for my personal interest. So I didn't quite predict well.
How many of you guys and then how long did you take?
3.
And then take 48 hours?
I mainly do for the coding and the other one for the UI and the design.
Is the control programmable? Like, can you use it on the things like Kaggle or the other stuff? Or it's only for the LED? I mean, is those things programmable or like fixed? You can only work on the LED?
You mean control the?
I mean the control kind of the kit. Like, do you have the capability to further program it to use it on the other home electronics, or it's only for the LED things? If I understood correctly, your question is it possible to use the system on other devices besides light, right?
Typically, we can control it. If I can use the driver for the machine, just like air conditioner or your washing machine or the TV.
You also control the interface other than Siri. Can you have actually other interfaces to control the LED light? You showed everything in Siri, right?
Not only Siri, but also like 科大讯飞, and also just instead of Siri to transfer the voice to command. Not only Siri. Siri is just interface.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to go to the next thing. Thank you. Good job. So the next thing is called Forward. Actually, I gave you guys yesterday another name, and apparently you didn't like it because you changed it, right? So I gave QRC, like QR code for real, and they changed it for Forward. Well, I don't know if I should feel humiliated for that.
Okay.
You know, you could be disqualified for something like that.
What? The name?
Just kidding, just kidding.
Okay.
Sorry, it's been a long day.
Since I learned that we only have 3 minutes, so I'll make it brief. Our app is to solve the fake goods problem in China. How we do it? Simply put, we cooperate with manufacturers using our barcode to link the goods we produce, and the customer scan the barcode to check all the relevant life cycle, sales track, and moving path of the goods, so that the customer can know whether the products in their hands are fake. Now let me give you an example. For example, let's say I'm a customer want to buy an Harmony. We cooperate with Harmony, scanning our barcode. Then to record, scanning the barcode to record the basic information. Thank you. Okay, stop. this is the, for example, this is the basic information and the whole life cycle of an army bag from being produced in Italy. Okay. To be maybe available in Beijing and sent to store. This is the whole life cycle of it. When the bag goes to the, for example, goes to the vendors, the stores, all the sales track and information will be recorded. So when the customer wants to buy the bag, they using our app, they use our app to scan the barcode to check all the information and the sales track of the goods of the bag, so that we can know that whether the products in their hands are fake. If it is a fake product, you could just click the button here to report fake. If it is genuine, the customer also can add some notes for the buying, which may send a signal to the other potential buyers. This product is bought by me. So that's the main how I work. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
So congratulations on the work. You've clearly given some thoughts. I have a question. My understanding is that you will work with the manufacturer to have the QR code on the good.
Yes.
And my question is, how easy is it to copy the QR code? Isn't the QR code easy to copy, and you could have a fake good with a fake QR code linking to the real information?
Actually, the QR code is easy to copy, but what can't be copied is the data, and the data for the single atom or product is just exists for. There is only just one data to a specific product, so this data can be copied easily.
Okay, I'm not sure I'm totally convinced, because I think there's a loop that's missing. I would not feel comfortable if the QR code, I don't know how genuine the QR code is, and you could put a real label on a fake good, but I like however, the traceability and the additional information that you can, it reminds me of Good Guide, which is used by consumers to get additional information on products. So, congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
So we actually invested in a very similar technology in India that uses codes on medical packaging to verify integrity, so that end users can basically detect if the drugs they're using are not counterfeit. I guess my question to you, so the tech sector is not very thick. How do you actually protect your technology? Like, how are you going to extract revenue over time from this product?
I didn't quite catch it.
So what is the long-term competitive advantage of these QR codes? How do you, because manufacturers can print their own QR codes and attach them to the packaging just the same way that you do to track their goods. What is the added value that you provide to them to use your platform as opposed to just printing QR codes on their goods?
Okay, answer your question. I'll discuss with my team members. English.
我觉得每一个厂商都做的话，就会造成市场的混乱。比如说假冒也可以做一个，就是说我要打造一个全中国唯一一个可以认证，我让消费者也知道只有我是认证 OK 的，其他人是不可以的。如果所有的厂商能做的话，假冒者也做的话，那市场同样还是混乱的，也达不到防伪的目的。
So if also manufacturers can make this kind of QR system, it will be a messy in market. So I want everyone in market to believe only us, only our app is the trustable app. And what we are trying to do is to build us the only one in market people could trust to avoid market messy. That's all.
Just one short one. For the information, like the shipping information, the vendor information, and then the buyer information, I'm just wondering, like, who's actually responsible for input of that information? 就是你那个，对那个 logist， 就是所有那个卖和运的过程，运的过程当中那个扫一下出来那些信息是谁输进去的？
有前端都是厂商来提供的。
在厂商提供，他知道说我把这个包给了哪个经销商嘛。
对，
然后再往下那个。
再往下就是，我们前期会找一些相对高端的一些产品去做，就是说让厂商要求经销商去这么做，因为他们一般都是连锁的，或者说有正规渠道的，就是说厂商要求经销商去这么做一个行为。
The question is, the information after the product was shipped outside the factories, like the manufacturers, the information about shipping, who add this information to the app? And the answer is the manufacturers maybe ask agency companies to type in all these informations about following shipment and market circulation about these goods. That's all.
My question is, that kind of application has been used in Japan for a while. All the goods in Japan has basically QR code on it already. So what's the reason? I think QR code has been pretty mature technology. So why do you think it takes so long for Chinese people to do it?
Actually, I think China is one of the countries that produce the most victims. According to transport, you can name it, every industry. Actually, we did a market study. So, market study, but which industry can be copied easily. After the study, that we found almost every industry, including clothes and household appliances and machinery, agricultural products, they all of them can be copied by some other manufacturers. So I think that the Chinese government and the customer really hate by victims. So from this point, I think that maybe the market needs a better solution. So that's why we are trying to do this.
Okay, I have a question. So I'm still not convinced that you can actually use the QR code to guarantee the authenticity of the product, right? Because technically speaking, you can only use QR code for convenience, but not for authenticity, right? I mean, it only gives you the convenience to look up the history of the product, given it's a real product. But by QR code alone, technically speaking, you cannot guarantee the authenticity of the product.
Okay. Actually, we have
very easy to replicate.
Actually, we have two parts, and the major part is that for the manufacturers, we have the software managing this data, managing all these data. What we're trying to do is not about the QR code; it's about the data that which guarantees the authenticity of the product and shows the whole life cycle and life cycle of the product. So that's me about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so next theme is called Patent Gesture Identification. And it's a team composed by one gentleman.
各位来宾下午好，我用中文做一下介绍，等一下会有翻译帮我翻译，谢谢。
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I will introduce my app in Chinese, and my interpreters will do the following things for me. Thank you.
我开发软件的基本功能就是手势识别。原理很简单，就是用普通视频摄像头拍下图片，然后它就能识别到你的手势。它本身是一个独立的一个手势识别一个算法一个库，也可以用来开发成任何东西，然后又做成一个控制鼠标的一个功能。然后基本上可以完成鼠标的所有功能，单击、双击、拖动，然后包括滚轮、中键，你可以很随意的来控制电脑，而且精确度、反应速度都是比较高的。然后它有很多应用，我也在网上也认识了很多人，他比如说要控制一些智能电视啊，或者控制一些智能家具，或者控制一些简单的一些就是说玩具，小孩用的一些机械玩具，都可以用这个手势来控制。然后有的手机厂商，有的手机我也在网上接触过一些做手机开发的时候，能把它做到手机上进行图像识别，用手机的摄像头。它只要我也做过一些测试，包括普通摄像头啊，或者一些体感设备啊，或者一些任何只要能拍摄图片的设备，拍摄图片都能进行处理，都能进行识别。
The basic function of my app is to identify gestures. So the camera of our PC capture my gesture and identify it. It could basically replace the function of the mouse. It could help you to do click, double click, pull up, pull down. And the accuracy is very high and the response is very quick. I have contacts with some people and they told me that this kind of system could be used in smart TV, smart furniture, and some mechanical toys that kids play. And the manufacturers who made cell phones also told me they could try to install this system in smartphones. So the camera in our smartphones could identify gestures to help us with the operation. That's basically what my app is doing.
我就讲到这儿，谢谢大家，请提问。
Now the floor is open. I welcome all questions. Thank you.
我也拿中文问你啊，就是那个你的那个 click 那一下是怎么是用 which kind of tool？ 因为你只有一个对，因为你只有一个摄像头，所以你不能那个找那个立体的那个去找那个前面。那你就是说，那我不知道，就说那你这边是用了一个什么开源的引擎吗？还是说你自己做了一个引擎？
我就是用的开源的机械识别库 ，OpenCV 这种机械识别库做的。
所以你只是做了个控制部分，相当于。
算法基本上都已经做完了，只是我后来现在做了个控制。
The question is, if you want to do the click, which gestures do you use? And the presenter has shown these gestures. And the other question is what he has done. And he has finished all the algorithm. And what he has mostly done is the identification base. That's all.
What sort of user training do you require to be able to recognize the gesture? Is there any training required?
如果说用户想要使用你这套手势识别系统的话，他们要接受哪一种的培训呢？
我已经写了一个说明书了，它就是整个操作，这就是说明书整个操作方法。这个软件可以在网上直接下载，现在已经可以。
I have already written the instructions and it's free for download online, so the users could follow these instructions.
more on the technical side, first of all, what algorithms are you using for object tracking, and how are you measuring the performance of your algorithm versus other competitors that are already out there?
I'm very sorry, could you please explain your question?
Sure. So, what algorithms are you using for the object tracking? And the second question would be, what methods have you used to measure the performance of your algorithm compared to other solutions that are already out on the market?
So let me be clear about this. First is about the algorithm, right? And the second is how to compare with the already existing systems in the market, right?
Yes.
第一个问题是你在支付这套系统的时候使用的是什么算法呢？第二个就是与市面上已经有的类似的系统相比，你的这个有什么一些特点呢？
第一个问题就是算法问题，这是完全自主，就自己开发的，基于那个 OpenCV 完全是算法库自己开发的。市面上就是这个算法，完全就是说，并不是跟其他的。所谓的用了别人的算法，然后自己进行的开发，而是完全独立的进行的开发的这套算法，花的时间也比较久，1年多的时间，开发这套算法。第二个问题就是说和其他的不同的在于，我为了让更多的人用户能使用手势识别，我并没有用很昂贵的一些那种摄像头或者其他的设备，然后就是用普通摄像头进行处理。
The first question is, I developed this algorithm myself. I spent almost a year in developing this algorithm. And the second question is, my difference is I use common camera to help users to lower their costs. That's all.
中文问题啊，就是能2个手一起使用，还是都一个手？
也可以，它主要是如果用 Win8 这种触控操作系统的话，它应该是可以用2个手触，这样把那个在算法库上加上对触控的多点触控操作也是应该可以的。但是就是说你的计算量会更大，就是对 CPU 的要求会更高，就这点。
另外，你要求的有些手势，比如有些人可能做不了，你像我2个手指头分开，我就分不开。
如果你看，我大概可以支持10几种手势都可以，看你自己，看你用户自己，我们如果对用户的要求进行更改，这个手势可以自己进行，就是说有10几种手势都可以识别。
还有就是你的这个应用主要在哪些方面呢？就因为比如说一般的，你看，比如说像那个 PlayStation，还有这个 Microsoft 这个 Xbox 上，它都可以做游戏，对吧？
对。
但是我想象中，如果只是电脑的话，本来人跟电脑的交互方式就是很近的，好像我想不到什么地方可以用到这个手势。
对，它我们主要是因为我们在网上推广过一段时间，它主要是想做成智能电视、语音和手势联合起来一起控制某一个部件，或者还有一些做那种机器玩具的一些，他想用这个来控制一些机器玩具，或者用一些做一些智能家电的用手势来控制一些智能家具，就这样的。
So first question is, can you operate this system with both of your hands? And the answer is, it can if you add some algorithm. So second question is, if there is some gestures that I can't do, what can I solve these problems? And the answer is, the users could edit the gestures themselves. And the third question is, where can this system be applied in? The answer is, we have been promoted this system online, and some people stress that this system could be used in smart TV and in controlling mechanical toys, and also be used in some smart home appliance, smart furnitures. That's all.
我就问一个问题，您这个现在这个手势识别这个应用啊，是只能在 Windows 平台上走吗？还能在安卓等等这类系统上走
？Open 就是它底层就是 C 语言和 OpenCV 库，这些库都是跨平台一致是没有问题的。
对资源，在你程序中对资源的要求
是比较高的，对资源要求是比较高的。
Thank you very much，谢谢。
谢谢大家。
So the next team is called Team 3000, and their app name is EVA.
So hello everybody, we are happy to present you our project named HEVA for Heaven Server. We are a team of 6 students from the school named HealthTech, from here and here. We chose to play the game and began to code 7 more. So all what we did it in 30 hours. Our project consists of 2 applications, one for iOS and the other using PhoneGap to guide us to deploy a lot of different services like Android, Mobile, and many more. Our application are fed by radio and voice web service. The main goal of our project is to help users to take part in a big community and participate in events and kind of events like parties, sports, cultural events, congress, game competition, dinners, barbecue, and many more. Anyone of them can work without the login, but the next process is going to create a journal event. So now, let's illustrate the application by a specific situation. I just arrived in Beijing, and I don't know nothing. I pick up my phone, and I go to Hela. I'm a big scholar, so I want to maybe join some people around. So I go to the application, I go to the event, and I have the event information. The time, where, the description, and I don't know Beijing, so I want to see where in Beijing it is. So I go to the map, and I have the event plotted by this small word. So I want to know I want to search something else. I go to the search box, and I can check like address, tags, or everything. I'm not logging on the application, so I go to settings. I just can follow up on Twitter or like in Facebook. I want to create an event, so I have an event, I log in, and I want to create my own event. So I click on the Add button, and I can create my own event, like I can fill the chip I know, choose the icon of my application. Yeah, the demonstration of the hackathon. I can check when, where, and hold the description. When I finish, I click on finish. So when I go to the event section, I have my event created. So how do people who have the application can join my event? I have the setting has changed because I have login, so you can change my account and you can log out. So thank you so much.
My question is that for some app like this, you need to leverage the network effect, right? There's need to be enough people to post on this. So why don't people just use Facebook? I mean, why do they have to use something like your app? And they can build something on top of the existing social network like Facebook or
But Facebook doesn't offer to the user the map with map. When you go to Facebook in your iPhone, like for example, you cannot have access directly to the address of the map, the address of the event. So in this application, you have directly the address of the event and how the event will what you well, maybe you're looking for something else, some events.
Just a quick question. Is the application event driven or is it more like people driven?
Sorry?
It's more like events driven or it's people driven. So basically it's based on the events or based on the connection of people.
Yeah, based on events, yeah.
I mean, I just arrived in Beijing, so this would obviously be very helpful. So, I mean, I think as other people on the panel mentioned, like with social applications, the biggest challenge, right, is kind of crossing that first chasm, right? What is your plan for building up the content and building up the initial critical mass of users, like your first 10,000 users?
Okay, so you mean to make known the application before the people, by the people?
Yeah.
So maybe we are using the social network like Facebook, Google Plus, or Twitter, all the social network, and maybe after all the events will be posted on Facebook and Twitter. I think we will do it. And because we develop the application in all the OS from mobile OS, I think all the people can access to how application.
Yeah, I definitely share the view that this would have been useful, being just a temporary visitor. I do share the team concern that I think it's a great need, but the fact that you require individual input of events and individual registration of the users sounds like you have a lot of friction in the problem. It would have been nice, for example, to make one of the two easier. So, for example, using the Foursquare like check-in so that you can see which events are hot, or doing automatic ingestions of existing events in Beijing so that you can get all the location based. But I like the general concept. I just think that you need to look at the chicken and egg problem and decide which you want to attack.
Yes, I agree with that. Just to keep in mind that we did that really from scratch during 48 hours, and actually when I saw their face presenting, I felt personally really bad because they haven't been sleeping for 2 days and so on, and so I felt like maybe I was guilty of that. So and it almost prevented me from sleeping yesterday night because of you guys. And so, but thank you so much. Thank you so much. So the next team is called Team 386, and the app name is called Pay-Shun. Like a payment and session.
大家好，这个看到的是我们这个 logo 还有我们的 slogan， 然后 passion 就是 pay and passion， 就是支付还有热情，我们想做到就是说热情去做支付这件事情，然后下面是看到的我们现在已经和国外的一些第三方谈的一些合作，就是我们想做的事情就是说帮国内做外贸的这个中小企业或者是个人解决这种境外收款或者是跨境支付的问题。然后因为说一下是这样，全球好多个国家都有自己的这个第三方支付，那中国有支付宝，有一派，然后俄罗斯有 Web Money， 还有其有 Wallet。我们呢做的就是把全球这些第三方的支付工具集中在一块，然后给国内的商家提供一个支付的一个解决方案，实际上是给有网站的这种商家提供一个在线支付的这个 API 接口。然后到时候中小企业和个人可以在我们的网站上注册，然后申请一个账号。如果是企业，我们可以提供一个接口，然后如果个人的话，他可以直接在我们的账户上面给对方去转账付款，然后我们这边也会给他一个详细的记录，包括用户来自哪一个国家，使用的哪一种支付方式，还有这个使用的货币，或者是交易的时间都可以。然后因为现在国外好多用户使用这个移动客户端的去浏览网页或者是购物的用户越来越多，所以下面主要给大家演示的是一个移动客户端 用户就是通过我们的拍摄怎么去完成付款，还有那个收款。然后这里是一个就是个人账户的可以记录那个每笔交易的一个情况，它也有也是支付方式，还有购买的商品，还有货币，还有交易时间。这一个也是一个详情。然后下面主要有4个功能，这个是属于付款的一个功能，大家付款给对方的账号，然后可以选择那个货币，还有支付的金额。最主要是我们这里可以提供说他们用户国家用户所在的国家最常用的一个本地的一个支付方式。这样说，就像你有美国的一个公司在中国去想做外贸，你可能会你选择是用 PayPal 或者是用 Visa 还是支付宝？其实很显然，可能更愿意去接那个支付宝去作为他们合作伙伴这样，因为在中国支付宝是最大的这样一个第三方这样。然后就还有一个收款这样一个功能，这也是一样，就是输入对方的一个收款一个账号，然后输入金额，给对方发送一个请求，然后我们系统会帮他做一个这样的处理。最后一个功能就是涉及到用户可以修改个人的账号，可以绑定第三方的这个支付工具。也就这些信息，谢谢 ，Thank you。
The name of my app is called Patient. It's a word invented by me, which means pay plus passion. So it's called Patient. And the first is our name. The second is our slogan to make it easier for payment collection from overseas. And at bottom are our cooperators. We have cooperated with a lot of third party. We provide services for SMEs and individuals in China who do foreign trades. We help them to solve problems of overseas payment collection and cross-boundary payment collection. In China and also in Russia, we have our mostly used payment system. For example, in China, we often use Alipay, ePay, and in Russia, we may use web money and Kiwi Wallet. So what we do is to provide a platform to gather all these payment systems to offer a solution for customers to receive overseas payment. Both SMEs and individuals could register in our system, and we would offer an API for SMEs, and for individuals, they could just operate on our website. We would provide detailed recording of each transactions they have made. Because a lot of foreign users shop with their mobile phones, so the next what I present is how we operate on our mobile phones. We still wait for the presentation. You can create an account in our website. And we have offered a lot of functions. You could do the payment. First is log in, and you have see the detailed recordings of each transactions you have made. And at the bottom, these are functions that we provide. With the send button, it's how you use to collect money. You can see we offer the payment in different currencies. And you can choose the most frequently used payment system in your own country, which provides you with convenience. And beside these payment collections, we can also provide you with a request button. If you want to collect the payment from your customers, you can send a message to notice him that maybe you need to pay me sometime. And the last thing I want to emphasize is the users could edit their basic informations and binding their most frequently used payment system. That's all. Thank you.
我有一个没看懂的地方啊，就是说，你的这个除了 integrate 那个 API 之外，相当于每一个 register 的 customer， 你自动的帮他在所有的那个 third party payment 上自动的去做了一个 account， 对吗？
你得注意，就是我们先把国外的这个第三方先接入过来，然后全部形成一个
那所以说，那 otherwise 就是说你等于在所有第三方上有一个 account。就我的意思是说，比如我是 PayPal， 你是支付宝，我要付给你钱的话，我们两个都 register 之后，那个中间那个过程是。我从 PayPal 付出的钱先到了谁那儿，然后再到
先到我们的账户。
所以说你在所有的 third party 上有一个 account， 对不对？你在所有的第三方支付上有一个 account。
对。
但是你在做这个 integration of API 的时候，你不会去做任何的所谓 fraud detection 什么 anti fraud 什么这些东西，对不对？就不会做任何的什么反欺诈这些跟支付有关的东西。我只是相当于 create 一个中间的 account。然后所有人都对所有任何不同第三方做支付的时候，就先付给我，然后我再付给他另外一个第三方支付，对吧？
So the question is, what's the role of your system during all these payment circulation? And the answer is, if the foreign payment system, for example, PayPal pays the Chinese customers, the payment will first collected by them, and they will transfer this payment to Alipay. That's all.
我有个问题，就是你们怎么解决这个就是关于监管和这个外汇跨境清结算的问题？因为在很多市场、很多国家实际上都有这样的问题，对吧？就是怎么样解决跨境的这个外汇清结算，人家把外币从境外结算到国内或者反过来，这在很多市场里面其实都是属于监管的市场。
因为我们因为大陆中国这边是受外汇管制的问题，所以我们在注册这个时候就在香港注册一个公司，然后是这样，我们跟国外的第三方合作，就是他会按照就是说以周或者是按月或者双周的时间跟我们统一结算这样一个去结算，然后他们会通过那个国外的银行转账也好，转到我们的这个香港的这个银行账户上面，然后我们通过自己的银行账户，也是通过以美元或者是欧元的方式，不是用人民币的方式转到国内的商家账户上面。这样拍票现在也只能是这样，它不能以人民币去交易。
So the question is, how do you deal with the problems relating to the forex settlement? And the answer is, due to the forex control in mainland China, so we register a company in Hong Kong. And the foreign companies will pay us weekly or monthly, and through their foreign banks in their preferred currencies. So we would pay this payment to Chinese customers in US dollars through the Chinese banks. That's all.
那个再问一个小问题，就说那个如果我在我的那个我是付款方，我注册了你之后，我在你的界面里用支付宝汇出钱的时候，你是跳出到支付宝页面去填写信息，还是在你的页面上填写信息？
跳到支付宝那个第三方的上面去完成这样一笔交易。
Right, that's right. Okay.
The question is, if I register in your web and I choose to do the payment with Alipay, so I will do the payment on Alipay's page or on your web page, and the answer is the page will be redirected to Alipay's payment page. That's all.
Yeah, so I mean, international payments and remittances is a huge unsolved problem. So it's a very interesting area that you're tackling. My question is actually regarding the transaction fees. So all these platforms that you have listed over there already collect their own transaction fees, and I'm assuming with what you're doing, you're incurring additional risk with currency fluctuation, fraud. How does your business model work on top of these third-party companies?
So the question is concerning to the transaction fees and who will collect these transaction fees. Is that correct? Who will collect?
If I got your point, it's there's different third parties involved. Everybody is collecting a fee, so it's maybe too much at some point. This is the question. So, yeah. Okay. So how is it possible with all these fees involved? Because, for instance, in a typical transaction here, you may have 1, 2, 3, or even 4 third parties involved. How is it possible to collect all these small fees on each transaction and still remain competitive and still make the product affordable to the end consumer?
因为我们每一笔交易都会收一定的手续费，你这里又包含了很多的一些支付系统在里面，每一次都会产生一定的手续费，这些累加起来有可能使得用户所需支付的价格更高昂。你如何来解决这一问题呢？
是我们跟国外第三方，就是说，因为我们这边是相当于怎么说，跟在中国的一个代理这样，我们会接入好多的这种商户。因为他跟我们合作的话，就是他不需要每一个单独去接这些，所以我们这边有一个大优势，就是我们可能当时金额占的会比较大，所以我们在服务费这一块，可能那利率会比较低，而且他也不是每一笔都会收这样一个转账的一个费用，他会我们当时以周或者月去结算，这样的就不是说每单笔去产生这样费用，而是说就是一段时间产生的这样一个费用，所以也不是会很多。
We charge very low service fees, and because the payment is settled monthly or weekly, so it won't the fees that accumulated won't be that large. That's all.
So first of all, I really appreciate the fact that you have the only Belgian payment method on your slide here. That's a very nice attention. My question is to do with trust management. Do you require in your clearing process the user to enter the detail for each of the payment accounts that they want to use, both foreign and Chinese? Or how are you planning to connect the different accounts' credentials?
So please let me be clear about this.
"这个不需要在我们这边写，就是因为我们是根据用户在哪一个国家，对，它是跳出去，不在我们这边去完成。
So if your Chinese customers use Alipay, do you need to register all these information concerning Alipay in our website? And the answer is no. It's direct. The page will directly redirect to the Alipay's payment page. So you don't need to type all these informations. That's all.
Okay, so it was very interesting, and it was actually even very interesting for me. I already knew about that, of course, because of the hackathon. But at the hackathon, I didn't understand patient. I thought it was a pay session, and I just understood that it was a passion for paying, as you translate it. So that's great. No, thank you very much. So the last team coming from the winning team coming from the hackathon of of yesterday and the day before yesterday, the CHINICT Hackathon, is called Moods, and they've been actually very original because they created an app whose name is Moods. So this is Moods by Moods.
Okay, so thank you very much, Frank. First, hello everybody. I know it started to be a little bit long for today. Maybe you feel a little bit all exhausted about all this speech. But for me now, I'm really excited, and this feeling I want to share with you. And why not to shoot into this room? I'm very excited to be in China City today. Okay. I know it's a little kind of bit weird to shoot like that. That's why we created Moods, an application on tablet and smartphone where you can see and share the new mood with everyone in the world. So, take a look at the script on the screen. There is two things. First, a map where you can see in real time all the feeling of the people all around the world. Second, a mobile application with one question: how do you feel? With that, you can answer that you are happy, unhappy, excited, scared, in love, or hot. Okay. So let's play a little bit to see how it really works. I'm gonna ask to everybody to look into this direction. And as you can see, there is two very, very beautiful girls. And well, I think I'm really gonna fall in love. So just to say, I think I'm gonna put I'm in love. Take a look on the map. You will see that somebody just shared his feeling. It's the red point. Now, take a look on the app. There is a map where all the last mood sharing in the world. We zoom, and we can see there is a love sharing red in Beijing. Please, everybody don't log. I know I'm alone. I'm just one player. But we're gonna cheat a little bit and simulate how it will be if there is a lot of users in China. So, as you can see, there is a lot of mood sharing in China. So now I think I'm feel happy because I'm not alone anymore. I'm gonna put on happy. And on the application, you can see over there there is a lot of different points of color which represent every mood, every different mood. You can zoom, see where it is, and that's the function of our app. I would like to show you a last thing. How the map will be when we will have a lot of users all around the world. Like that. So now I would like to imagine we're in Beijing. You walk into the hotel and you have your phone. With a push notification, we say there is a lot of people around you who are very excited. So you take your phone, you take a look on the app, you share your words, and you can see the map. And you can see here in Tsinghua Park, there is a lot of people excited. Between us, it's China City. But for the common user, he don't know. So maybe he would like to see what it is, to take a look by himself. That's all for the application. I would like to add a last thing. We're a team of 4 talented developers, and we have a lot of ideas to improve this concept. We really like to grow up fast, big, and be successful. I hope my presentation make you happy, and I want to thank you for your attention. Now, if you have some questions, I'm ready to answer to it.
I really like your concept. I think not enough technologists care about soft emotions, and so I really like the concept that you choose of trying to use an established methodology of polling combined with the soft rendering of emotions. And as you were presenting, I was thinking about lots of applicability around crime maps and fear and disaster areas. The question that I had though is that for all those applications, you need a lot of data to get meaning at the individual user level. So what is, and I realize it's very early, but what are your initial thoughts around distributing the client application so that you can gather the data?
Okay, so as we show you, we get the data very easily. You just have to download the application and to say, to put what is your node. After we want to, first there is the Apple Store, Windows Store, all of the store when we can get the application. We have other idea like maybe a little kind of Playfish. Maybe you do a Facebook application and use the power of social network to have a lot of users the first time. I don't know if this is if they like to play with that on Facebook, the Facebook app, maybe they will want to download the app into the device, the iPad or devices.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, as I said to you yesterday, it's always a good idea to do like Playfish.
First of all, congratulations. I think it's a very cute idea. But again, just to follow up on Sebastian's question, how do you get enough people interested in this application so you can generate enough data to make it more interesting, right? Because for something as simple as Hot or Not, I can imagine a lot of people downloading that. For this thing, I mean, how do you initially distribute your application to get more people interested? And the second question is that in the long run, what is your business model? I mean, how do you, like, as a standalone application, how do you imagine yourself like generating revenue on this thing, whether it's by advertising or some other models? Thank you.
Okay. About the first question, it's how to captivate the user. I would just like to say that we developed that into 24 hours, so it's just a simple sample, very simple sample of what we can do with that. We have a lot of idea, just as it's already told, it can be very powerful to see a lot of different things. Maybe, I don't know, there is a war who's gonna happen, I don't know where in the world, and you take a look on your map and you see a lot of black points and you see a war. You're gonna happen what happened here, and you're gonna be interested of what happened here. We have only 6 moves for this time. We can add a lot. I don't know yet what, but I think there is a lot of interesting points we could put on this screen. About the second question, how we're gonna gain money with that? You know, this application can be very powerful it's also with events happen around you. And for an example, you are in Beijing, and there will be a CHINICT Hackathon in 2 days, and maybe Frank will be our customer, and we ask you to put some advertise about CHINICT. So all the people who share their mood around Beijing, they will see and advertise about CHINICT. So it means we don't want to use already advertising system like, I don't know, Google Ads or Microsoft or I don't know, whatever. We'd like to do our own advertising system and something which can really fit with the geolocation system of our application.
Thank you.
I'm glad to know actually that you want to get even more money from me again. right? Yeah. No, I have to say that these gentlemen are already part of the Kitty Food team, so we've been working quite a lot together already. So, so you want me to be an advertiser on this platform?
Of course, we will be very pleased to have you.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay, so I guess after using the Kitty application, you go immediately on this and kind of like update your emotions, right? So it seems like there's a lot of opportunities with this, overlap maybe with dating, or if you guys spend any time thinking about that. Maybe one question and a second one. We're kind of brainstorming here on the fly, but you guys thought about doing anything with wearable devices like Nike Flow or to kind of auto-detect people's mood or activity? Slower.
Sorry, you speak too fast for me.
Oh, Nike. So slower or Nike Flow? So slow. So I guess the question was if you guys have spent any time thinking about the overlap of this application and dating, and the second question relating to wearable devices. So those are devices that people use to track their heartbeat, activity, like Nike Flow or Fitbit, and if you're able to extract some of the information automatically.
Okay, for the second question, as I understand, is that you want something like a connected device on your hand and just detect your mood. Yeah, of course it's possible, we can do this. So just the device will be connected to the phone, and then you just can detect their mood and just show it in real time on the map. And this, but for the first question, I didn't really understand.
Oh, sure. If you've thought at all about the overlap of your application and the dating world in terms of updating motions and how does that connect?
If I may, I think actually they're providing the answer among the different points they were mentioning, because one of the points is how do you feel? I feel hot. So if, and it's a geolocalization, so if you feel hot and you are next to someone who's also feeling hot, you can both identify yourself with the same type of emotion and also in the very same location. So I think that it's almost the best ingredients for potential dating opportunity.
Can we have you in our team?
Again?
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you guys. Okay, so that's it for the CHINICT Hackathon. Now what we're going to showcase are 3 projects that we call CHINICT Protégés, and these are early stage projects, pre-sales investment opportunities. So these are much more mature projects, and each company actually has a 5-minute sharp to pitch, and then they will take to pitch and to demo their product, and then they will take the questions you may have. So the first team we're going to welcome among the CHINICT Protégés is Mr. Ping Wang, and his company is called Substantial Games.
Hi, I'm Ping Wang. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Substantial Games. Now, as you know, the tablet market is exploding, and with it, so are tablet games. Now, the highest monetizing audience on mobile are guys aged 22 to 45 who are self-described gamers. So these are people who grew up with games. The average age of a gamer in the US is actually 30 now. So they have a certain sensibility towards games. And these people who play World of Warcraft and Call of Duty, many of them already own a tablet. And in fact, 37% of them already spend money on a floating screen. But there's almost nothing there for them. It's a painful problem, and they want something more. So how do you give these players what they want? How do you adapt 30 years of game design tradition to this brave new world of mobile games? Our solution is to tap the real-time strategy genre, or the RTS genre. Historically, it's a leading genre by sales on the PC. And in an RTS game, a real-time strategy game, battles are all about a couple of things: timing and positioning. For instance, a really basic strategy is to take the units and then to circle around your enemy and then attack them from behind. It's called flanking. So to do this on the PC, first you select the units with the mouse, then you hold down Shift, and you click, 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 make a path, like so. It's doable, but it's a real pain. But with the tablet platform, for the first time, with the touch screen and the size of the screen, you can instead simply just draw a line. It's one beautiful motion, and it's that rare input mechanic that unites the player's intention in the game with his physical action. Let me show you how it works. So to move a unit, you just simply drag a line. And because this is line drawing, you can do fancier movements. And this really opens up the door for things like flanking, like feinting, and other timing-based moves. It makes them really easy to do. And because the screen is multi-touch, the video to catch up, you can actually move more than one unit at the same time. This is really the next generation for control on RTS. It is simply better than the mouse and keyboard. And with it, we can draw upon that deep well of RTS design tradition, while streamlining that value, making it more accessible for the mass market. And it is a really big market. In-app purchases or games on tablets are going to grow 10 times in size to $3 billion a year by 2016. And we want to take full advantage of that. We're not making a niche game here. So beyond accessibility, what does every mainstream success in games have in common? Think about World of Warcraft and Call of Duty, League of Legends, StarCraft, Street Fighter, Halo, it goes on and on. The one thing in common is quality competitive multiplayer. And our focus on multiplayer makes us unique among mobile game companies, as does our focus on the long-term value for the customer rather than entertainment value or short-term monetization. So to quickly introduce our team, my own background is in product and UX. I've been in Beijing for 4 years now. First at App Annie, helping to grow that product from a prototype to a market leader, and later on at Happy Latte, contributing in production, design, as well as leading R&D. My co-founder and CTO is YJ Park. He has a master's from Tsinghua. He's been in tech for 14 years. And our art director is Daniel Arlemist. He's an award-winning computer graphics vet who started his career 13 years ago at Electronic Arts. We founded the company 3 months ago with 750,000 RMB of seed funding from my co-founder and a mentor. And in that time, we hired a core team of 6 members and developed the prototype I showed you earlier, which is actually a networked prototype. Now we're asking for 2 million RMB to develop, launch, and tweak this thing and go profitable. Our launch is planned for March of next year, and it only takes us about 1.3 million RMB to get there. But as you know, game development can be a pretty bumpy process. And that's where we're seeking the best possible investors. Thank you. Questions?
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Hard to disagree with your thesis, and I think 3 billion is underestimating the market development. But since you talk about a game, you've talked about this in a very cold fashion, very driven by input mechanic. How about the emotion, the storyline, the concept art? You haven't really touched those points. Can you perhaps allude to the genre?
Sure. Well, it's kind of rooted in a medieval fantasy theme. It's an original intellectual property. As you know, once you go to sci-fi, you lose something like 60%. So it's kind of rooted in that. I really like Game of Thrones because it's fantasy, but it's still real. It doesn't go overboard. It gives room for the story to breathe, the characters to breathe. And we're developing original IP. Our lead concept artist is actually his last project was Brian Fargo's Torment, which closed a Kickstarter at 4.3 million this last month. So we're working on it. We're just getting started.
Yes. question, maybe it's just a little bit off the normal one. I'm just wondering, like, because I know about the Happy Latte and then the App Annie guys really well. I'm just wondering, like, when you left App Annie to do the startup, why don't Happy Latte or App Annie invest in your team to bootstrap?
Well, I left about half a year ago, and Happy Latte is more of a, they're a very innovative company.
Yeah, sure.
And they're very forward-looking, and they're more of an entertainment company,
Yeah.
rather than a deep kind of game company. And I always felt that I was much more suited to these deeper game experiences.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much. So I forgot to mention something actually important. If you guys wonder why, because the two other companies are going to use the same format. I asked each company within 5 minutes to first describe what they do and use a demo of up to 2 minutes to showcase their product. Second, to talk about their market, how big it is and how they position inside this market. Third point, what did they do so far with how much money, so did they bootstrap and over which period of time, and also who are they and who the team people are inside. And the fifth point is, what do they want to do? What do they want to do with your money, guys, if you decide to invest in them? So that's the format Pin Wang was just using, and that's the format the other two teams who are going to present are going to use also. Okay, so we're going to welcome the second team. The second team is composed of Andrew Friday and Joseph Chen, and the company is called Red Squared.
We at Edify want to help students learn better by personalizing their education. Students learn in different styles and at different speeds. And in schools, they get a one-size-fits-all education. How many of you have at one point felt perhaps under-challenged or left behind, or had a teacher that didn't really suit your teaching style? Edify will help personalize learning by allowing students to choose their teachers and to allow them to go through courses at their own pace. Let's take a look. This is our iOS client. Students can use it at home or in school to go through a variety of K-12 courses. The courses are crowdsourced. The students pay a subscription for access to the courses, and we will share the revenue with the content creators.
So courses are divided into units, which are then divided into lessons. The main difference between our product and a lot of other things is that, first of all, students can choose the teacher that they really like, that maybe speaks to them, and uses a style that they can really relate with. Secondly, students learn at their own pace, meaning that they look at lessons, they complete them, and then they can move on to the next lesson. This ensures that they actually understand the content before moving on. So let's take a look at Libby's class. Okay, so courses are made up of, they're interactive, they've got many different types of content. So teachers will use our content authoring tool to create these courses, and then they can actually use them in class with our classroom management tools. So after the children are done, or after the students are done going through lessons, they actually can get quizzes. And so our quizzes are automatically generated, meaning that every time the student does a quiz, it's new. And so we want students to go through these quizzes many times, and we'll reward them with collectible stickers and in-app currency.
There are a lot of online courses, but most are targeted towards the higher education segment, and so they aren't direct competitors. Competitors in K-12 segment include publishing giants like Pearson, who have a lot of content. They have huge sales forces, but they don't have personalized content, and their digital products consist of essentially digitized versions of their textbooks. Other competitors include virtual schools who have done a good job of educating students, but they also don't allow students to choose teachers that match their learning style like Edify does.
Our unfair advantage is that we have our first 2 teachers working with us are very high profile. First, we have Libby Curran. She was People Magazine's 2012 Teacher of the Year. And secondly, we have Kim Lee in China. She's known as Li Jin, Feng Huang Yingyu, Li Gong de Chenqi. And so she's a best-selling author and very well known in China with, I think right now, around 70,000 Weibo fans. So in the last 8 months, the last 8 weeks since we began working on this, we won the Beijing Tech High Startup Competition. We built this prototype that you're seeing here, and we've signed on 2 well-known teachers.
We plan to release Edify in July with Kim and Libby's courses as standalone apps. And we project that will become profitable by September, at which point we'll be seeking investment to help us accelerate development of Edify as well as expand our curriculum up to the higher grades. Now, us, the co-founders of Edify, I'm Joseph Chen. I have a master's in chemistry from Oxford University, and I was a PhD candidate at UIUC. I've spent several years teaching chemistry and physics, and in the last year and a half, I have released 4 apps.
My name is Andrew Friday. I am a graduate of Leohasta University. I taught economics for a number of years and worked at Happy Elements as a game designer where I released 2 games that have had over 1 million downloads. So we're finished, so we'd like to open up to questions now.
So I have a quick question. So you just provide a platform, you don't actually make the contents, is that right? Or?
Well, we realize that there's the chicken and egg problem with all of these platforms. So we understand that we do need to seed the content in the beginning and start off maybe with more consumer-based goods that do use the Edify code. But after we have users, then we can start adding in the content creation tools and also the teaching management tools. And so then that will become sort of full-blown Edify.
Okay, so when you say personalized education, do you mean that by like personalized teachers or companies?
So what we do is we break up courses into individual objectives. And now a teacher can create content specifically for that objective. Now multiple teachers can create content for that objective. So if a student looks and goes through the content of one teacher and finds it unsuitable, he can try again with a different teacher until he finds one that matches his way of thinking.
Yeah, so studies show that there are 8 different learning styles, but today in school, if you've got a teacher who's one learning style and you learn better with a different learning style, then you're not going to learn effectively. And so by providing multiple teachers to create the same content, then you can find a teacher who matches one of these 8 learning styles that you have.
Thank you.
So it's more like content based, right? It's not really live one-on-one kind of tutoring stuff like that. It's not that way, right?
No.
Two questions. I think I had a similar question around the mapping. You talked about your unfair advantage, but I think you're essentially answering that to find your appropriate teacher linked to your style, it's just a browsing and trial and error. I'm wondering whether you have plans to better explore this relationship and the discovery of the student's style so that you can match them with the right teacher. That's the first question. And then the second one is, can you go a little bit into the economics of the pricing for the student and the revenue share to the content provider? Both sides seem to be quite key in developing those kinds of platforms.
Yeah, I think when we have more data, once we have more students on board and we've got more data, then I think that there are definitely ways that we can automate pushing the right teachers towards the right students.
As for the economics behind it, we're starting off with $10 a month subscription, and the revenue sharing will be, eventually it will be 70-30 once we have the content creation tools online, and we don't need to manage that. But for now, because we have to at least for our current two teachers, because we are actually having, being very active within the course creation, and it's 50-50.
So a very nice presentation. I'm curious to know how you guys became passionate about K-12 education.
We both have a background in teaching. We both did TA work when we were in university, and then my first job in China was actually teaching AP economics. I did that for 2 years, and Joseph also was involved with teaching. And so we kind of have been doing. I've been teaching for 4 years, and I think you were about 4 years also. So we have we've been doing this for a long time, and it's just something we're really passionate about.
If I might add to that, so while we were teaching, we found the real need for allowing students to not be subjected to a teacher standing at the front lecturing to everybody, because with 30 or 40 students in a class, they're bound to be very, very different in their levels. So not only did we find the need for personalization of our courses, allowing students to maybe do 2 years of courses within a year, but also it's going to cut down the teacher's workload by having all of the content already prepared and ready for use.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so this concludes the presentation. This also concludes our day. I'm just going to ask you gentlemen to stay here for 1 minute or 2 minutes more as we're doing the final picture with all the winning teams. So, oh, I'm sorry. That's my mistake, actually. Sorry. yeah, that's indeed true. We have one last thing. My mistake, and actually a very, very interesting one. Sorry for that. So I'm going to call the Swami team. Very, very interesting. Last but not least. Sorry for that.
Hello. We get an app. This is a short demo of the app. It looks like a Twitter, but the only difference is you get an icon here. That's an app, and the idea is that Android users to pull the apps on Twitter. That's what it's doing. It's just a share an ad box on Swabby, and it's reposted on Twitter, synchronized. And you can reply. And this guy is a reply and send. So if you get a question with somebody is sharing, you can ask. And you can like and download. So let's cancel. So all the data you got this sharing streaming in Swably and also in your Twitter account. You can share to like as a sort of tip or a link to your friends with a link that's gonna open it. A link to a landing page. Get a landing page, and it's downloadable. So your friend does not need Swably because it's an APK or app that you are sharing. That's download. That's it's trying to reply. Get that from feed. Yeah. That's the app. So the new logo. So small piece about how to discover apps. So you get a lot of apps. 100,000, 1 million next month. What you do is a search, Google Lecture search. Yeah. But when you do search, you get a problem. You get 1,000, sometimes 500, but typically 1,000. You do another one. So travel, that's chat. So a lot of solutions, a lot of people. All those people click the apps. Twitter. That's our website. The Twitter apps you love. That's our on Twitter. Swap their account on Twitter. It will be like this. It's an enlarged version. Look like this. We get some competitions. AppsFire for French one. Yeah. But the recommend apps we don't. We let users to recommend apps. So Swabbler's all of those apps downloadable. You do not need any app store. You do not need the Google Play. Oh, this is me, Dennis Chu. This is on LinkedIn. I'm a designer. I used to be a salesperson. This is my partner, Alex, developer. So we're basically bootstrappers. So we built this for 14 months, and with this, 1,200 users in English, 1,000 plus for Chinese, and we got made some publicity, and we're raising our angel funds. That's much. That's our plan. Got 1 million users within 12 months, some active users, some reviews. Thank you. Questions?
So if the product is built, why do you need money for? What's your plan in using those funds?
Excuse me, what is my plan to use that fund?
You said you are raising $350,000. So what do you plan to use the money for?
Basically, we're going to operate the software and promote. We probably start from San Francisco and for at least 6 months and get back to China. Yeah. Because this is too radical, the China market. Because all the apps actually circulate outside of Google ecosystem. It is on our server. People doing these things kind of like PPP, your phone to another person's phone. That's too radical. So we probably start there.
And mostly marketing.
Yeah, basically marketing. I'm going to hire a local person there in the Bay Area.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.